With the Rent-A-Girlfriend manga slowly coming to an end, it's time to tell you guys once and for all to who the title of Best Girl belongs to. And before you reach for the pitchforks, just hear me out. But before that, a small disclaimer. This video will contain major spoilers for the Rent-A-Girlfriend manga, so only watch this if you have already caught up or just simply don't care. You have been warned. And now let me explain to you why Mami is indeed best girl of them all. It's pretty simple actually. Because without her, nothing fucking happens in this manga. Yeah, her backstory is kinda weird and I still don't know if she got pregnant and lost her child because of her parents being huge assholes, or if that all was just a metaphor to show that something died inside of her. But still, thanks to her, there's some pressure applied to the story, and I also really like her disgusted face. I mean, look at this. That's such a mood. Oh, and don't get me wrong, she's still a bitch, but so are all the other characters too. Our main characters are notorious liars. Ruka seriously should seek a therapist, and Sumi? Well, Sumi got lost somewhere around chapter 156 and apparently hasn't found home yet. Maybe the author forgot about her the same way all the other characters did. Let's just call it dedication. But let's talk about the first character the manga introduces us to, Kazu. Should have named him Kuzu to be honest, because he really is trash. This guy's lifestyle only consists of lying in bed, simping, self-pity and fapping all day long, which I could relate to if I wouldn't hate him so much. Next up is Mizuhara, but before we get to her, let me explain how she gets introduced. Well, Kazu gets dumped by Mami in the beginning, his now ex-girlfriend. Kazu is sad, Kazu gets himself a rental girlfriend, which is Mizuhara. Done. And if I'm being honest, at first I really loved Mizuhara, because I watched the anime before reading the manga and the first season didn't really reach the point where I started disliking her. And for now I'm just assuming you know what happens, but if not, let me give you a quick summary. So, Kazu meets up with Mizuhara for their first rental date. He gets emotional and bashes at her, she gets mad at him, and then Kazu receives a call from his parents that his grandmother got hospitalized. Both of them went to the hospital and there his grandma asks him who the girl next to him is. And guess what that idiot says? Exactly. And at this point, the tiny snowball called lies gets rolling and consumes pretty much everything there is. First, they lie to his grandma and parents. Then to the other grandma, who will never learn the truth. His best friend? Lie to him. Not so much best friend? Who cares? Lie to him. He finds out though. Ex-girlfriend? Well, here mistakes were made because she gets triggered and wants to watch the world burn. It's the perfect setup for a huge dumpster fire, and it gets even better because there are still two girls left. The crazy one and the, how I call her, the forgotten one. But since the forgotten one's character already peaked very early, let's jump straight to the crazy one, Ruka. Well, Ruka is cute and she loves Kazu. That's basically it for her character. But how did she get introduced? The first time we see her, she bumps into Kazu on the street, falls down, he sees her panties and she calls him a pervert. The classic. And how do we meet her again, you ask? Well, she's a rental girlfriend too. And remember the somewhat friend? Exactly. The long story short is, she falls in love with Kazu and gets so clingy that every yandere out there started questioning their existence. She's the human equivalent of a wildlife park deer. Once shown the juicy bag of seeds you carry, you will never escape. Even the aggressive behavior fits, because she also repeatedly tries to force him into a relationship with her, and somehow even succeeds. Then we've got everyone's favorite character, Mami. As said, she breaks up with Kazu in the beginning and chooses to hate him and everything he touches for the rest of her life. Which I guess also includes his dick, because he apparently touches that one a lot. And last but not least, there's Sumi. She exists. Somewhere, probably. But hey, she got her own spin-off manga, which is on hiatus. Well, now we got introduced to all the important characters of this manga, so things can finally get started, right? Wrong. I'm seriously fascinated by how many chapters this manga already got without anything happening in most of them. The story is a repeating cycle of Kazu trying to confess, failing and falling into self-pity. And holy shit, he tries a lot. You know when you ask a friend or family member for handing you something and they think the funniest joke ever in the situation would be to pull it back right before you can grab it? Multiply that by 6 and you get a good picture about what his character is all about. And I also mentioned earlier that Mami makes some stuff happen and spices things up a bit. But it doesn't really happen that often, and for the most part she's just an unlikable bitch and even tries to blame Kazu as being an abusive partner. She's still best girl though. All of this goes on for roughly 200 chapters, and somehow there's even some weird NTR shit in Kazu's imagination happening, but let's get not into that. Oh, there's also this unimportant side character who looks like your standard sophisticated exchange student from France, and that's basically it for a good 80% of this manga. Until something finally happens at the yearly family trip. Another failed confession and more bitching later, we end up in a situation where Mizuhara and Kazu aren't able to escape their lies anymore. Thanks to Mami, by the way. And then this happens. Look at this beautiful drawn panel. The feelings. The impact. Enjoy this moment because it won't last long. Okay, so Mizuhara made a move. This scene is there to tell us that she liked him all this time and hasn't been honest to herself about her feelings for him. So when the situation is as worse as possible, she makes up her mind, kisses him and tells everyone that she now genuinely is his girlfriend. And who the fuck believes that now? Well, at least his family does. They just take it and be like, oh nice, have a good day. Kazu and his somewhat friend are confused, Mami is in shock, and Ruka took it surprisingly well. And his grandma? Well, she just fucking accepts it after a quick tea talk. Let me get this straight. They lied for over a year about their relationship, showed how untrustful they were and how long they kept up this lie instead of setting things straight. And his family just takes it like, oh well, that happens. Either this is some seriously questionable writing choice, or Kazu really is such a miserable person that they're just glad he gets at least something done in his life. Either way, it felt pretty weird reading this part. After all of that, we see a rather thirsty Kazu trying to confront Mizuhara about the kiss, but she goes into full tsundere mode and says that it was the only way out of the situation and that they should officially end their fake relationship now. Then a quick cut to angry Ruka. She's angry. Another cut back to Mizuhara swimming in the pool, getting lost in thoughts, thinking that it's better that way and that she really shouldn't be together with her client. Nice. You know, at this point I wasn't even anticipating that much, but I really didn't think that the author would drop another cockblock right here and now. This getting to some strange levels, but to be honest, I really respect that person for crushing my hopes on a bi-weekly basis. And you know what the worst part of all of this is? I can't stop reading this shit. I don't like the characters, I dislike the story, and yet I can't stop reading. And whenever I see that a new chapter has released, I can almost feel my hand moving on its own, trying to click on that link which would take me right back into this hellfire. The best example here is Kazu. I really hate that word, but almost every panel with him in it feels cringe as fuck, but I'm still continuing. Rent-A-Girlfriend hasn't reached a high level of being trash. It's not overly funny and not that refreshing either, and it drags on for way longer than it should be. But for some reason, I get some weird masochistic enjoyment out of this manga. I wouldn't even say that it's bad, even though that's what I'm thinking. Objectively, I think it's just a very mediocre story with way too much drama resulting out of nothing. Well, at least the art is nice. But maybe it feels like this because you can see the lost potential here and there. Characters aren't really fleshed out, and if you would dig deeper into their backgrounds and make them somewhat relatable and interesting, then it genuinely could be one of the better romance stories out there. Because if we are real for a moment, the only character with some more fleshed out background is Mizuhara. The biggest problem of this manga is its terrible pacing combined with characters who even after over 200 chapters have the depth of a dried out ocean. And at the end there's only one question left. Is it good? I would honestly say no. Then it has to be bad, right? Again, I would say no. I can't really explain why I enjoy this manga so much, even though I'm only criticizing it. I feel like a JoJo fan saying that part 2 isn't good. Dishonest. I wanna say that I hate it, but I just don't. Well, there is a saying that if you hate someone, you still care for them, so maybe I just don't care enough? But then again, I cared enough that I wanted to make a video about it. So my question for you guys is, for those of you who really like the manga, what is it that makes you like it? And for those of you who don't like it, why don't you like it? And for the one person out there who hopefully feels the same way that I do, please don't contact me, I already hate myself enough. Let me know your thoughts about this manga in the comments, maybe we can figure out something together. And with that... Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, all that kind of stuff. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I also hope to see you in the next video. And until then, peace.